Hey y'all, it's Renegayde, and let's spill some reality on RuPaul's Drag Race UK. Season 7 is on, you lucky cows, so make sure you like and subscribe for more, as you're not going to want to miss a single spot of content this season. On this episode, we celebrate the season premiere with a trip to the Brit Gala, and while we started out this premiere all as lucky cows, a questionable judging has left us utterly unamused. But before we talk about all this bull, let me introduce my co-host, and as I'm looking around at the Brit Gala, it's full of stars, and oh, he's here too. It's QuackerrJack!
Hello! I'm so excited to be here. I'm not going to do a British entrance because they don't deserve it after this episode.
I was about to say, right?
Speaking about that, I have a bones to pick with this goddamn judging. I've developed a Celexa addiction here, and I'm not even on page 3 yet, baby.
Ooh! I was gonna say, I feel like this premiere has definitely left us all feeling a little moody, right? Okay, I'm done with the cow puns, but yeah, like going into the season
Yes.
from this season, I think we could all say, right, that the promo was not good. The excitement level was probably not very high when this was all happening. So like we were just watching it to watch it, but I will say in like the first like 15 minutes or so, I was feeling actually like turning around. I was coming around on like as we were getting to meet the girls a little bit more. We got to see them outside of those janky ass promo looks, and we got to see them in some real style that, for them at least, like a little more signature. I was kind of vibing, right? Like I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm feeling this, right? And then they pulled that shit at the end, and I'm just like, well, any goodwill I had for this is all out the season, like, or all out the window right now. Like I just
Yeah.
why does UK always do this to themselves? Why? Like
I don't know.
I'm very worried about where we're heading for this whole season here, but we could talk about obviously our feelings about specifically in the judging a little bit on here in a second, but let's just kind of just get into things right away because there wasn't a whole lot of like character development really this episode. We didn't really get to see too much interaction or anything fighting or any fun drama. It was just all introductory. So basically, I feel like for me, the biggest issue is how they presented this challenge, without a doubt.
For
Because
sure.
we kind of lead off here, and the way that it's kind of proposed to us is that you're going to be showing off a signature look again atop the tiny pink carpet staircase that they have going on at the Brit Gala, and then they kind of throw in at the end that they'll be talking to some very important queens, aka Bag of Chips, Plain Jane. Love to see her. Tessa Testicle, Angeria, and Marina Summers, who I love to see as well there too. So good to see
Right.
them. But yeah, I went back and rewatched, and I will say I still disagree with the results, even
100%.
more so now that I know what they were kind of judging it on. But initially, we all thought that it was going to be about the looks, right? Because initially, I think UK premieres are the ones that they have premiere balls where you get to show the get to know you look. So this felt like it was going to basically be the same thing, but with a little bit Slation Royale question and answer category in it. But it did not turn out that way at all, did it, Jack?
Girl, they did the ultimate. The runway doesn't matter. This episode, they said we didn't look at the entrance looks, we didn't look at your signature drag look, and we sure as hell could not see the queen of your hometown on the runway because I don't know. Alan Carr's glasses are wrong. Fucking Michelle and RuPaul both need their glasses on because they don't have them on, and I feel like Joel was just trying to be there to be nice to the girls and stuff, even though he was probably sitting there like, we all on the same stage with the same ideas about the judging. Like, I don't know. He was just trying to be nice to whatever they decided. And I'm not going to blame him since he's a guest, but the judging panel,
You
high
also
as
can't blame
hell.
him either because he looked really good. Like I would be perfectly fine with him saying just we don't need to pick Rue this season. He could be here. I'd be fine with that.
Oh my god. I admit he's attractive, but like, let's not get off track, okay?
Okay,
We still
sorry,
got a
sorry.
lot
I
of
was being a little too positive about this episode, right? I forgot
a
all
little too
negative.
positive, yeah.
Anyway.
But I would like to back up off your positivity and just give a shout out to the girls that I think killed it in the entrance looks. Bones, Selects Addiction, and Viola. This is how you make a statement about what your drag is and who you are when you come into an entrance, in my opinion. I think these looks were so good, so polished. I knew a lot about the girls as soon as they came in, and they stood out for the best reasons, in my opinion.
Okay, you do saying that. I want to get sidetracked for just one second because there was one slide bit of like character development that was kind of
Ooh.
happening there with them, right? So Slux's addiction kind of comes in first, right? She was giving like mother, she's going to be like the queen villain, that she's going to be the shady Bianca Del Rio, right? When Bones came in, did it not feel like she was immediately like, oh damn, there's somebody else here?
Right, I was like, like, oh.
I was feeling them, and I was like, I was very fully expecting Bones and Slush Edition to probably be in our top this week, and then neither of them were considered really, and I
It
was
was.
very shocked. Um, anything you want to kind of talk about, like the setup of the Brit Gala or anything like that, before we get into the actual judging this week, Jack?
Yeah, the Brit Gala was literally them saying, you're going to have the biggest night in fashion here at the stage. You're going to have your full on moment to really show yourself off, present us your signature drag, and then answer a thirsty question from our very important queens. And it was like, okay, cool. And then it was like, we did not care about looking at your outfits, whether or not they were good or bad. And in fact, we lied to most of you. And I was like, I don't know if it was opposite day, if like the rapture came and they forgot who the judging was. Like, I don't know what happened this week when they did this episode, but a mess. It's one of my favorite challenges, and they just did it so dirty, but we'll get to it.
The other thing I was going to say is, did you expect the judge, or not the judges, the queens to be so shady in their question and answers? Because it was giving me like an America's Next Top Model challenge where they're supposed to go into a situation and they think it's going to be very straight laced, and then there's an actor on the other end that's basically there to just throw them off and see how they're kind of acting. I felt like that was a little also like, if we're gonna go for, okay, we need to be serious question and answer thing, like shouldn't they be allowed to be in a situation where they're able to, flourish instead of kind of be like caught off guard and have shade thrown at them that they're not expecting? I was a little
Well,
confused by that.
I mean, I agree that the shade was a little like unexpected, but I also learned to expect the unexpected at times, I guess, which is fine. You know, being able to volley, showing off a little bit of that wit, sure, and like who you are. Yes, to show off your personality and stuff in a question, even if it's comes at you sideways, fine. But even when girls did, looking at you, Nia and Bella, like showed off her personality perfectly fine. She still got read the house down for it. So like, what was the point of the questions other than to just persuade us with their bad editing? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I did not buy anything they were selling this week, especially when we got to the tops and they started pulling people out, and I think we were both looking, or not. Well, I mean, obviously we're in BC, so we weren't looking at each other, but we're both just like, "What
Well,
the
the first three
hell
girls,
is
they started
happening?"
pulling out the girls, and it was like I was like, "Oh, these are the tops and bottoms," because they started calling them. They were like, "This girl who's in the bottom, page three who's in the top, this girl who's in the bottom." I was like, "Oh, these are gonna be the tops and bottoms," and then like you three, and I was like, "Oh, you're putting them as safe? That's weird." Kind of thing is what I thought was happening, and then like the tops, and I was like, "Oh," I was
What?
like, "I guess we're back to the Coke rants or whatever that RuPaul wants to have on here." I don't know. We're back to something crazy. It was not it. Not it in the
Yeah,
slightest.
because I mean, obviously our tops this week are Katrin Feelings, Page Three, and El Vosk, and of them all, I'm like, Page Three deserved to be there. Absolutely,
Yeah, page
she
three could be
had
there.
the best of the actual, or one of the best of the actual signature looks. Made sense to me. She
Mm-hmm.
was funny in her interview, but the disconnect for me comes from like, why are the other two there, and then why is the one queen that I have out of the top set of all of them the one that didn't even win? Like, let's start off with Katrin because
Oh my
sure,
god.
she was kind of a
Jesus.
little charming and whatnot here. Like, I didn't hate her in the clip, but it was all very kind of generic answer. I mean, going back and looking, like, I'm sure, like, maybe she was giving more something in the extended clip that we didn't see, that they were kind of vibing with her personality, but this just felt like, I'm like, I don't see what y'all are seeing with the personality, nor was the outfit good enough for me to kind of, overcome that to put her in the top.
And I wanna specifically talk about that because you make a good point. She had a good response. She told us she took the shade of her dress. She accepted it and said, "Well, I just wanted to dress up as a leak because, like, that's where I'm from and that's what we're known for, or whatever." And I was like, "Okay, love your explanation. Does not excuse the fact that you have the worst outfit on the runway of all the girls the signature look, Brit Gala looks, right? And then her Queen of the Hometown look, I was like, okay, this is pretty middle of the pack, I would say, for the Queen of the Hometowns. And by that, I mean a little bottom of the pack. But I understood it. I wasn't hating her Queen of the Hometown look. I would have figured maybe she was the bottom 3 girl, that they would be like, you didn't do great, but we got a lot of personality from you, and we appreciate that. This is just a little reminder that, like, hey, that dress was not the ish, and if you go to the gala in that, baby, get ready to be dragged back up the stairs and kicked out. So I don't know. She was in my bottom 3, but I don't know what I see all the personality, but the outfits, it was not giving shit.
I don't know if I would have put her in my bottom 3 per se. I get it why though, because I was looking back through my list and I was like, okay, yeah, Katrin was like near towards the bottom in most of the categories, but sure. But I'm like, the real egregious thing here for me was the fact that they gave the win to Elle Voss, because I'm just like,
Oh my god.
they literally said Elle's outfit shouldn't have worked on the runway, her hometown look, and it didn't. It didn't at
It
all.
didn't. It
It
did
really
not.
didn't. It was literally cardboard covered with some wrapping paper.
Vinyl
It
or
just
something,
like,
yeah.
this is not good. And I did not find her clap back to plain even close to funny at all whatsoever. I don't understand why they were having such a hilarious time with her on the runway, because I was like, she feels like she's trying to give shade, but she's just coming off like a little more mean and just not, it wasn't funny. There was no
I
comedy to it. I don't know. I don't understand why they're in love with her. And her look sucked. Her look was not
Oh, her
good.
looks are bad. Okay, let's talk. Let's go from the beginning. The outfit on the Brit Gala was very low on my list. I actually put it second from the bottom because I just felt like I didn't get much. I was struggling between her and Chai Tea Grande, but I felt like Chai Tea at least gave me something she was trying, and this was just. I've seen this. We've done this a million times. It's got that same old slime pattern that we've seen a million times, and also if we're going to talk about how Marie Antoinette has been here every single time, we have seen this specific look a million times as well. But
Mhm.
I want to give her credit. I do think she may have been funny in her response to Plain Jane, but we don't get it because we're not British and we don't understand the reference. Apparently, Michelle Visage understood it, and I was like, okay, so maybe this is just a translation error for us. I'm not British. I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt there. At
Okay,
least
hold
she
up.
was witty.
Before you
What?
say that, though, before you move on from that point, though, if it's
Okay.
going to be about a witty diction or whatnot, then why did they give Celexa so much crap in the edit for her using a British pun? Because Bag of Chips clearly got it because she was sitting there when she said she followed through
Yes.
on her bullshit. Bag of Chips
Yes.
was cracking up, and everybody else was like,
Well,
huh?
and
What?
that's that double standard bullshit that we saw on this episode. That was like, oh, this is so annoying. So that's why I didn't understand. I was like, she was in my bottom 3 for certain this week because not only was her Brit Gala look like not really anything that I think anyone should wear at a Brit Gala. Like, it would have been fine on a certain runway, but at a Brit Gala, this is supposed to be like your signature drag look. So one of your best pieces of drag. If this is your signature look, baby, we gotta talk. We gotta talk because I saw the promos and we went from this to that kind of thing. Like, this is even better than your promo look, and it's not good. So, but then the Queen of Your Hometown look, like you said, it was cardboard with some like vinyl or fabric wrapped on it. And they even said, oh, she kind of looks like she's on like the gallows. Ha ha ha. I was like, you can't be joking about this and be talking about how bad it is, but be saying,
Right.
"Oh, it's so good." And it's from Belfast, which apparently has this Titanic museum, and even the girls from over across the pond were like, "I don't know about this." Like, was there a Titanic museum? Yeah, sure. Does it look like that? I looked it up. Yes, it does look like that. Was it portrayed great in her outfit? No, it looked like shit. And the fact that they try to tell us it didn't was crazy. That's another level of like gaslighting that we just all experienced because we all remember exactly how it was, and then they try to tell us, "Oh, it was good." Like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Like that
Why?
was terrible.
We're watching two different shows,
We
apparently.
are definitely.
um, this felt like a very cheap way to set up a storyline for her because she had that
Uh
moment when
huh.
she was coming in. She's like, "Does anybody know me? Because I know some of you." And then nobody knew her. And then she's like, "Well, you all know me now." And I'm just like,
Yes, it was a setup. It was a mess. It was fraud like behavior. Let's continue though.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, if I was gonna pick out my tops for the week, page three would have been there. I do think Sally TM was actually a lot more charming in her interview upon second watch, since we were judging it strictly based on the interview. I wasn't sold necessarily on her look 100%. I think we've seen what she did a little bit better with a little bit more polish from some other people, but I don't hate the idea. And it's clearly we're not taking looks into account anyway, so why does it matter? So I was charmed by Sally's interview, and I would say that again, my winner, and I think you probably would agree with this too, would have been Bones. I think she had three amazing looks on the runway, in the entrance, in the gala as well too, and
Mhm.
I liked the confidence that she gave in the interview. I don't think everything has to be, oh, let's make sure RuPaul laughs at every single thing that we do. Like, I don't, I think having confidence and showing that you are, proud of where you come from and you're able to have a conversation and still be kind of witty. I
Yeah,
don't hate it. I was fine. I personally, Bones would have been my winner pick.
I think I agree. I think Bones should have been the winner pick. But I want to give the shout out to the girls who I think deserved the top three as well. It's Bones, obviously, it's page three, and once again, Select's Addiction. Selecta, we mentioned on the runway, she had, in my opinion, the best look for the gala. She had one of the best responses because how are you going to tell me that her story wasn't like telling you enough about her or whatever? Everyone else got it, and when she explained it to you, like everyone was like, "Oh shit!" Like literally shit. And it was about her, it was about her basically having a one night stand or whatever with Gothy Kendall, and I was like, so she already got a difficult question in comparison to everyone else because that's weird. Like, but I thought she handled it well, and I thought like this was great. So she deserves that honor, and her final hometown look. I am not a Yorkshire pudding person, but that she was serving the gravy that I was looking for.
I was a little kind of put off by how she was kind of like holding it initially first, and then she threw
Yes,
it back. She's like,
agreed.
"Oh, it's a reveal," and I was like, "Okay, that's not good." But no, I will agree with you that she was my fourth. She was the person I was kind of going back and forth with between her and Sally.
Hmm.
But
That's fair.
the Met Gala or her Brit Gala look, I think for sure was my favorite look of the night. Absolutely. Um, Now let's go ahead and talk the bottoms this week, because I think we've
Well, let's
already
talk
kind of
about some
said
of them.
that like Elle would have been in our bottom three. I think Katrin would have been in our bottom three. I think the other bottom three was in this bottom three as well here too. But let's talk about the other girls here, because we find out Miss Terrace Mongardi is in the bottom three, and she does have the most awkward interaction of the night. I will say that.
Yes.
Her interview with Plane was very, very weird, and she was going back and rewatching it again a second time. She was talking over Plain Jane a lot. I will say too,
Mhm.
I don't think Plain Jane was at her best when it came to the interview, but I do think that she was also probably a little thrown off by the way that Tayrus was kind of talking over her the whole time, and none of the other girls really were doing that. So,
Well,
or
there there
actually,
was another girl that did it, and she brought it up during her interview that she did it too. And it
mhm.
was Bonnie and Clyde. She was like, "What does the interrupting dog say?" And she put that microphone. And I was like cut her off before she could answer. I was like, "Yeah, I don't."
That was a little bit more of the joke though, because they were talking about
That
the
was
cow, right?
funny. Yeah,
So
but that was funny because she
that
wouldn't
felt like
shut
a
up.
gag.
I no, I really think it was because Plane was like, I didn't get to finish my questions multiple times before girls started talking. Like Taylor started out fine. She's like said something, agreed, and then Plane was trying to finish the question. She's like, "Oh, okay, you're just agreeing with me or whatever, fine." And then she just would not let Plane talk, and I was like, at that point, girl, you've done it to yourself. I'm not giving you any kind of leeway. Like the whole point is to listen to someone, and if you can't do that, just to listen to someone, it's a mess. But Tayrus did have an amazing Brit Gala look and an amazing Queen of Your Hometown look, even if it didn't fully like fit the category. That look was everything. I want to say not only was it very the whole pufferfish and how she explained it, but tell me it didn't kind of give you a little bit of a vibe of like from Teen Titans Bumblebee. I
I
was like,
mean, I
wait,
never
those
watched Teen
puffy hairs.
Titans,
You
but I'll
don't.
agree with you.
Oh. But Bumblebee she's like an amazing character. But anyways, I was like, oh, this is everything. Like, I love this. It could have. I know she didn't fit the category. I thought maybe she could have been in the bottom three just to be like, hey, you didn't do great in the interview. Like, just, listen to people. This is a warning. Because ain't no way I'm going to put her in the bottom two. There's just no way.
She did feel like she was probably the safest of the three, even though
Yeah.
I feel like I understood why she was in the bottom three versus
Yep.
I did not understand why Young Bella was in the bottom three at all to begin with,
Nope.
because I did not feel like she was putting on a personality. I felt like she was being herself, and we've got to see
She
her
was the
throughout.
most.
We got to see her throughout the episode. Like, that's very clearly, regardless of what you say, she is a little more put together. She is a little more, that kind of has that little more pageant energy, when it comes to just who she is. So,
Well,
as far as
I don't know if
like
I'd go that far
how
about
she kind of
pageantry.
well, she's very put together, right? She's very put, but then she does
Um,
show personality when she does play the nose flute thing. Like, she shows that she's not afraid to like go there, right? But I could get why they kind of feel or why they said what they said about the initial personality, but I don't agree with it, is what I'm saying.
I don't
Is
understand how they said anything. She gave me the most personality out of anyone, even before the nose flute. I was like, oh, I really like her. She's bubbly, she's charming. And then they were like, what's your hidden talent? I was like, oh, so she got a second question too, which I thought was a good thing. I was like, oh, they wanted to talk to her more. And then she does the nose flute thing, and I was like, what a fun queen. Like, how fun, how beautiful to, like, come out here. And they're dogging on her because she wears a Marie Antoinette inspired look. Like, this is her first signature look thing. How are you going to put her in the bottom because she wore Marie Antoinette? Like, they purposely were like, I hate seeing Marie Antoinette again for the 17th time. Like, yes, it's been said, yes, it's been done, but so have a lot of these other looks, and we never talk about it. Now, her Queen of Your Hometown look, that was like the worst of the night, other
it
than
was.
Elle, in my opinion. I do think Elle deserves worst of the night in that category, only because no one knew what she was supposed to be until she told us. And yes, she looked gorgeous from the neck up. Her hair was everything. But Neon Bella, like, I immediately clocked that she was a clock tower. I was like, oh, it's Bang. It's Big Ben. Like, I know that it conceptually kind of didn't make sense because all the watches and the clocks everywhere. And I know the outfit was a little messy and everything. But if we could fix just the messiness of the bodice and stuff, and like the just what was going on there, I liked the shoe area. I liked what she had on her legs. I think that the clock was big enough on her head. This gave me very much a Lil moment from last season when who was it? That one judge who's here sometimes, Graham Norton. He said that the hat was too small with the feather and it wasn't drag enough or something, and I was like, okay, like a girl comes out with like a barely even like brush through hair that came out the bag straight up a shake and go, and but this is too little. Okay, okay. Like I was not here for it at all.
Yeah. My only thing though is once she got the critiques, and I get it, because like, let's be real, like if you go in and you're giving your all and then you get the critiques that she got, I would be feeling very defeated as well though too. My biggest issue was that she let that continue for her into the lip sync,
Mm-hmm.
because it was just a very defeated energy, and I get it, because like, especially being a queen of color and a person of color, a lot of the times when you are getting the things that she got were more about her personality than it was about anything else, and I didn't think there was any real issue with her personality at all whatsoever. So I get why she shrunk, I get why she wanted to kind of disappear, but then she has to perform, and the first 30 seconds of that lip sync, I was just like, oh no. Oh no, girl. Oh no. But it felt like maybe she was just having issues with trying to figure out how to like perform with a clock on her head, right? So once she got
Yeah.
into it, she turned it out, and I was like, okay.
Well, don't say that.
I wouldn't say
Don't.
turned it out. She did better. She she
She
she
did better
did a lot
than
better.
she did better than she started, and she did better than her opponent. But
hmm
the bar was in hell.
I mean, true. Yes, it was the worst lip sync we've seen all week, and we've seen a lot of lip syncs this week. So
Yes.
yeah, but it just I get the energy where it's coming from. I'm just worried that it's going to hopefully not continue into next week, because I do like her, and I just feel like
Yeah,
she's kind of getting this position to start off with really unfairly, really.
I agree.
But I will say I do agree completely with the end result that pasty, pasty, patasti,
Pasty. Pass.
paste,
Like pass
pat,
around, pasty.
patsy. I
No,
don't know.
pasty. It's ST.
Pasty. Okay. Yep. Either way, I was very much so in agreement that she should have been in the bottom three, but there was a little bit of charm I was kind of finding to her, maybe in the confessional, but yeah, like of all the looks, she definitely was giving me some of the weaker looks here. It yeah, I agree completely with her being there, and she was actually winning the lip sync for me until young Bella finally, started to do something a
Move.
little bit more, and then
Yeah.
it felt like I don't know what was going on with her with Pasty or Pastasti, but she was just I don't know, she lost control. Then she started to like try to like go from like Ginger Minge to Georges and do like cartwheels and kickflips and stuff like that. And she looked so messy afterwards. I was just like, oh yeah,
I
I
will
don't know.
give that she was trying to give us energy, and it was just the most chaotic, or it's like the least directed energy I've ever seen in my life. It was just all over the place. Like I couldn't tell what she was necessarily trying to do at times. And I know I could tell this was not her kind of song, but that does not matter in this moment, right? Like this is a competition. You have to be ready for anything. Her entrance look, it left a lot for me to be desired. Her Brit Gala look, I think got way worse critiques than what it was. I liked her gala look. They said, "Oh, it didn't fit well." Blah blah blah. I said, "I thought it fit just fine because I saw some of the other girls' fits and I wasn't gagging." But I didn't put her high on the list either. I'm just saying she was like eighth place, and I was like, out of 12, that's a safe position technically, you know. So lower safe, but still safe. And her look on the runway for the hometown, it was a mess. It wasn't a mess, but it was technically still like third from the bottom because Alan, and Bella were there. So, I mean, I would have put her in the bottom too, but I don't know. That one they got right. They got Passy right. I think that's the only one they got right in the bottom this week. I was like, she should have been standing next to Al, and she should have been standing next to Katrin probably.
Or
Like,
even
sorry, not
Chai.
sorry.
I would have even taken a Chai in the bottom three, but not like
So
worse.
Chai, I only put Chai not in the bottom because her Queen of her hometown look was good. But I
Okay,
guess we're not looking at runways, so I guess put her in the bottom then, since we don't care about
right.
runways.
At this point, just throw. No, no, don't say that. I'm not gonna say throw bones to the
Just
bottom. Not
don't throw bombs.
not
Please
doing
don't
that.
do that.
Not doing that. Um, so instead, ultimately here, Pasty is the one that is asked to sashay away, or at least she would have been asked to move it away. But ultimately, she is saved from RuPaul's newest gimmick, and that is the Lucky Cow. Let's just go ahead and add this to the list of RuPaul Drag Race twists here that show up for an episode and then hopefully don't come back. I'm just like I struggle to see a world where I want to see them do this a second time. It was fine the first time. It felt like a gimmick, obviously. Like we have so many non-elimination premieres, right? And it's just a situation where it's just like, if we're gonna do a non-elimination premiere, let's just do a non-elimination premiere, and then allow this to be like a twist that happens like episode 2 on, and let this be the real twist that maybe will allow a double save. If they move it forward again a second time, okay, because obviously that means we won't get a double sachet or shantae from a lip sync, which is a little scary. But ultimately, let's talk about this twist here, Jack, because all the queens stayed on the main stage for critiques, but the bottom two are not announced, just the bottom three, right? So instead, the remaining queens cast a vote for which of the bottom three they wish to save, and if the queen who loses the lip sync is the one to receive the most votes, then they are saved from elimination. And when the votes are received, that ends up being Pasti. So again, no elimination. Nothing that even happened in this premiere even matters, other than the fact that I am so scared about this judging. But Jack, before we
Girl.
even like culminate all this into an overall feeling, let's just talk about this Lucky Cow. Were you feeling it?
It really was. I thought this was really fun. I thought this was really cool at first. I was like, oh, this is fun. This would be a very cool twist. Like, if I was a girl and I got to choose who I wanted, when I wanted, kind of thing, like, to to be saved, and they didn't necessarily win the lip sync, and maybe they could be saved. Like, it'd be really cool if a girl like could have that opportunity. What was not so cool about it was how did we? I guess we got to the decision of putting the girl we thought was going to lose the lip sync the hardest in the bottom. I guess I kind of understand that, but like I don't know the votes confuse me. Well, not so much confused because there were 9 votes, right? Because let's assume the 3 girls in the bottom couldn't vote, and if they could, they probably voted for themselves, right? So it's they knock each other out. What confused me the most though here was like we saw Celexa give Niambella, we saw Sally and Al give Tayrus the vote. We saw Bonnie and Clyde and Katrin giving Pasty. So that leaves 4 votes left. And I'm like, how did we get to a point where Pasty was like the one voted the most? Like, in my opinion, I thought Tayrus was going to be voted because we all saw that Tayrus shouldn't have been in the bottom 2. And then I was like, it gave me kind of an icky energy because I was like, did the girls, like, I'll maybe give it a pass this time, but if it comes back and we do that shit again, like, I'm going to feel really away because you're telling me you all voted for the one white girl when the 2 only black girls kind of thing were in the bottom 2. Like, that made me feel very uncertain about this. I was like, I get it. Maybe you thought Pasty couldn't win the lip sync against them, so that's where I'm going to give them the pass right now, but something in me was not liking the result completely. I mean, I like that everyone gets a second episode. I've always said that. But I am a little nervous. I am very much nervous.
I don't know. There's something about this twist just feels very half baked to me because it feels like the Golden Beaver, but we're doing it after the votes are
Mm-hmm.
played, and then like it doesn't feel like it resonates as well when we're doing it afterwards because part of like the good thing about the Golden Beaver is that like you could use a strategic move, right? You could throw two really strong girls in the bottom. In
Yeah,
this, it feels like you aren't incentivized to really save someone who is strong. You're or weak per se, because in my head, like my goal is like I want girls out. I want them to go. I I'm here to win. So I don't really care to give this to someone who I think is going to be saved. Like if you're terrible, like I want you to go so that way I could make sure that if I happen to end up in the bottom 3 for whatever reason, I want this to be used on me. So I don't see a reason why they were all like, I want to save everybody. I want to keep everybody together. I mean, like, it's the premiere, so fine, sure. Let's play Kumbaya. But it doesn't make any sense to me at all whatsoever when it comes to someone who looks at this as a competition and wants to play the game. So, I don't know. It felt like a waste of just I don't know. I didn't really vibe with it. It was just very. I would put it probably like a D plus. I didn't really vibe with it. I would.
it could have been good. It just wasn't.
It just yeah, agreed. But so yeah, ultimately we went through that whole hour to be annoyed with this horrible judging for this result, and now we end up going into next week and we have a design challenge, which I'm like, how are y'all gonna even try to convince me that Elle is going to make something even relatively good here if these were the first 4 looks that she's popped out here with? I just don't believe it. I don't believe Catherine's gonna come out with. I mean, Catherine might. She might actually have like a Mona Lisa like signature pattern that she knows how to make. I don't know, but just I feel some type of way. I just do.
Very,
And I'm just,
very
I
bad.
don't know how to feel about where the direction of the season is ultimately going to be heading. It feels like for me, like if you're going to give Elle the kind of, push, it feels like she's very similar to Kyron Thrax kind of thing, being that she's very young. Obviously, they have 2 completely different styles. Kyron actually has a point of view and can make a good garment, and
Is that shade?
I don't think the same could be said about Elle, at least at this point. So I'm struggling what direction they're planning on heading in this season. I don't know. I don't feel good about where they ultimately landed with the judging and who they ultimately put there. I don't feel good about the results of the vote. There's nothing about this episode that left me with any positive feeling about where this season is gonna go. And I'm like, is this why they just put no effort into this promo? I don't know.
Look, if they put no effort in this promo because they thought the season was going to be bad, then why did they allow the season to go like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't. They had the ability to do whatever they wanted with the season, and if they think we're going to hate it, then I think that's more of a reflection on them because they have the ability clearly to show us whatever they want to and give us whatever critiques they want to and whatever winners they want to because no one was saying, "Oh, she was the winner by far." Well, other than her family and friends, probably. Like,
Ooh.
and she shouldn't get hate for it just because she got the win because it's not her fault that they gave her the win when she didn't deserve it. So, like, don't send any hate to her. But like, it just doesn't make sense. And then Pasty saying is totally fine with me again, but I don't know. I could see maybe something going on, but then next week we have like what was it, like Viola was maybe crying or something a little bit between something that Katrin said, I think.
She was having some sort of moment, and it was very awkward.
Like she was like, I don't know how to
I don't know.
act or something. And I I don't know what that's going to be about, but also I was like a design challenge for this group of we're gonna need at least 4 of those this season because then we can actually get rid of the girls that need to go home. All to y'all shade. Like, no offense, but if this is how the judging's gonna go, I'm gonna need 4 more design challenges in a row so I can get rid of a couple people, and then
Well,
then we
don't
can
say
start
that,
the
Jack,
season.
because if it turns out like this episode, like you said, then they're not even going to be looking at the outfits anyway.
We're not looking at your outfits during this design challenge. We want you to show us how well you can perform on the runway in the outfit, regardless of how it looks.
It's gonna be some sort of like they're gonna have a ginger minge like clause to every sort of one where it's like you have to act in this one or you have to sing a country song in this one. It's just gonna be very
I Oh
yeah, I don't know. I
God.
I I struggle to sit here and want to like close it with the how I usually close things. But Jack, I'm gonna let you have final words here. Anything you want to say about this premiere?
I want to say that some people did not get enough love. Other people got too much love. All of us got gaslit like we were in an abusive relationship. And I'm hoping that next week we're all going to snap out of it. We're not going to like let them do this, because I'm not trying to be rude, but like, is there going to be a point to watching this season if they keep doing this type of shit? No. Like, what's the point of having a winner if you're just going to give them any kind of win? And I think that's kind of how we're all feeling right now. I mean, maybe we're not. Maybe I'm just being negative. But I feel like a lot of us are very confused, upset, like not sure what we're going to get into. Um, the Queen's reveals were already enough of a, ugh, but that first part of the episode felt good, and then we got to the judging and everything went back to the to the promos, and we were like, well, maybe it is the promo season. So
I
let's
told
just
you.
hope and pray. Let's just hope and pray. We're gonna get better. That's all we can do is have hope in these dark, dark times. You know, we'll see. We will see. That's it.
I'm really hoping we're not getting like a residual of like 2025 just being that season where the RuPaul seasons are just they just all have horrible, or I wouldn't say horrible winners, but just like pre-planned winners, I should say, right? So I I'll pretend to be optimistic because it's the premiere. It's been one episode.
Yeah.
We can't
Okay.
judge it all based off of one episode and a promo
Sure.
of Lutz leaving up there. So let's be positive here. And I can't wait to see how this turns out. And hopefully y'all can't either, especially if you made it this far.
Uh-huh.
Again, thank you so much for listening. And again, make sure to like and subscribe. Lets us know that you're liking the content here. And comment below on your thoughts of this premiere, because honestly, That's what I want to hear, Moses. Were you vibing with the
True.
judges here? Were you agreeing with whatever they were trying to sell us here? Or were you like us, where you're like, yeah, no, this is questionable behavior? But until next time, y'all, and on behalf of QuackerrJack, this is Renegade signing out. But remember, keep spilling that tea, y'all. Bye.
Bye.